Welcome to Katie's Garden and Plum Dumplings from Germany and Eastern Europe. You need potatoes because it's a potato dough, so I just boiled these and I'm peeling them now. And flour and 1 egg, not complicated, but the potatoes shouldn't be too new. And Yukon Gold is a really good variety to use. My mother lived in a town in Yugoslavia that was a German town, and Hitler encouraged the boys to fight for the Germans. So when Hitler lost the war, the Serbians had a really good excuse to then punish the Germans after the war. So the Serbians moved in and took my mother and her mother and brother and took them out of their home and took their farm away from them and put them into a barn, and then kept her like a slave for about 2.5 years. So one day she stole a raw potato, and she knew that she could have been shot by the farmer if he had seen her take the potato. So I only recently put that connection together. But potatoes has always been a crop that they grew in Eastern Europe. It's an easy crop. I mean, the Italians used them too for gnocchi, so it's a similar kind of dough. My dad was born in Romania, in another one of those towns that was probably 90% Romanian. Hitler's guys came into all these small towns in Eastern Europe, and of course, what 17-year-old doesn't want to leave town? It sounded like a really exciting thing to do. My dad said it was exciting until he started seeing his friends shot in front of him, and then he said, "Can I get out of here?" But he couldn't. It's too late. You can't get out once you sign up, right? My dad was a skinny little guy, and he didn't do well at pretty early on in the war, and so they left him with a farmer to take care of my dad so that he didn't die. And that farmer kept him fed. I mean, potatoes was the crop that would last all winter. So I think he just let himself get sick. So he did manage to escape in a way by and the farmer was very kind to my dad. Dad had some friends who were farmers up in the Holland Marsh. So they gave him a job, and he came 8 months before we did to make some money. The one thing my mother brought with her when she came on the boat with my sister and I was a red enamel cooking pot, probably half the size of this, which is what they use to make all their meals. We can cut it into little squares, and then we're going to put the plum inside. I learned to do this by watching my mother. And I think there's something about Eastern Europe where they use plums to make brandy. It's kind of a cultural thing. So after you've got them in this condition here, you boil some water. I think my mother said something like 10 minutes. It's on a delicate boil. So what you do while they're boiling is you fry some breadcrumbs, either in lard or corn Crisco corn. Put them all on a platter, and then you pour the breadcrumbs and oil on top. It gives you a nice texture difference. And then we used to eat them and compete to see who could eat the most. Nobody was on a diet the day we made plum dumplings.